Christian, if that's okay, because Christian, our pharmacist, is working. He's going to try to get away to join us. So starting with the soccer, now we're in the community health workers. And, you know, we thought mPharma, we've heard of mPharma from almost the beginning. My connection is with Liz Jones, who you probably know. And because she's also a business coach, and I met her in Ghana and worked with her. She was working with a pharmaceutical company there, hands-on, and also, I believe, working with your CEO and founder. And so the world is small in this business development startups, between Stanford Seed, between Liz, and between Steve Beck with Novastar. You know, we're all connected because we're all trying to do the same thing, try to make a better opportunity in Africa. So here we are. So we've been brainstorming, and you know, and I'll get to introductions in a second, but we have the background that is not like a typical nonprofit group. We have business, we have implementation of health systems with Elliott. Dr. Christian Tully is has a doctorate in pharmacy from the US. He's African born, raised, went to the US for his education. So he has the opportunity to see from the US viewpoint as well in this African setting. He's our intern. Abdul has been in Kabir all his life, incredibly bright, and implemented a lot of programs with USAID and other programs. And so that's our core team. Plus we have interns from Johns Hopkins, et cetera, through Elliott. And we said, we are going to find a way to get livelihoods for these people as well, deliver better health services. So we've been exploring the insurance. We got NHIF policies for Abdul and his extended family. And we're learning through that, what's available, what's not available. And we just found out his mother has diabetes and hypertension, and she suffered a long time, and medication is so expensive. So we got the NHIF. She went to the clinic and she could not get any medications. They would not cover it. And I'm not sure why. You know, Abdul is finding out from his sister, why was she turned down for the medications? I mean, what's the point of having insurance if the poorest of the poor can't get basic medication for hypertension and diabetes? So we're learning along the way. And oh, somebody's in, I think Christian is coming. So, hi, Christian. Christian.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, we have Henry from mPharma on the phone. So thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Dr. Christian is in Maryland right now. And Maryland, and I think you're at Johns Hopkins?
No, not Johns Hopkins.
Okay.
Master.
Okay.
Master.
And he's working on his master's in pharmacy, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, but he has his doctorate already. So he's very interested in international pharmaceutical systems, and he's probably, you know, almost an expert at what's going on in the United States right now. So we thought he's a great partner for us to work with. And in fact, he and I are going to come to Nairobi probably in the next month or two to help Abdul implement some of the programs that we are doing. We're doing database collection for the Ministry of Health from the 2,000 soccer families that we have registered. We're going to be finding out a lot of information that they need in order to get their programs to be more effective. And we'd also like to discuss with you some of our thoughts of what we think a partnership could look like with mPharma. So Elliott and I were speaking about this recently and said, you know, we could provide a wonderful workforce for mPharma. entry-level jobs like delivery of pharmaceuticals on their bikes or motorbikes. I saw this in West Africa. I worked with a couple outsourced companies that provided the lower level employees to banks and other businesses. So mPharma, would outsource the deliverers, the security people, the welcoming people in the clinics, all that. There's so many opportunities there where they could end up being employed either by an outsourced company or mPharma. We would screen all these people. They all come from our known database. We would help you train them. We would, keep on tabs on them to make sure that they're keeping their end of their bargain with employment. Because I've seen this extensively used in Nigeria. I coach a company that has 9,000 staff that she works with banks as an outsourced company for security, drivers, even tellers, even at that level, supermarkets where people are, stocking the shelves, where the companies don't have the time or wherewithal to be able to find all these people who are screened and can be verified as good people with a good background. So that was one of the ideas. And I saw it in action in West Africa. I thought, I'm not sure if mPharma would be interested in this, but it could be an opportunity for you to not only get pre-screened potential employees, but you would be helping the people of Kibera. This is a big CSR type of push. And as you know, there's a lot of people in Kenya that have a real hard time getting into the workforce. And in the meantime, they can't even afford the NHIF insurance. We looked at the other insurance policies that are now being offered in Kenya, and they're just too expensive. So anyway, that's one area that we thought we could be helpful, and it could also be a win-win for the Kibera people. We also, like I said, work with Ministry of Health in Kibera. They're our partners. When we do get small grants, we always work with them on what information do you need in Kibera? We will get it for you with our grant. So we have one now that we're going to be going with a database for all kinds of information that they're interested in that they still don't have in Kibera. We'll be looking at our 2000 soccer leagues. And so as your vision statement says, our goal is to realize with you the vision of providing, livelihoods to the poorest people in Kenya. A lot of them are in Kibera. And I know Steve Beck has a close relationship with Kibera through the founders of Shafco, but also to provide better health for those people. Because you're going to have to explain to us or give us the vision of mPharma. If it's, who is your target audience? Is it going to include the people of Kibera, that level, or is it going to be more of the middle class and upper middle class? And if it's not Kibera, we could be helpful in reaching those people in a meaningful way. So anyway, that's my brief overview, a little more than brief, but we get really impassioned when we see the opportunity of, helping people. I interviewed our 25 CHWs when I was there in September. And and it was amazing, the backgrounds of some of them. They're not just poor people who have never had jobs. They're people who went to college, university degrees. They have sales experience, they have work experience, but it's all mostly in Kibera, and it's very, very tough. We started helping them, some of them start their own business there, with $100 grants to start selling foodstuffs in Kibera, selling the used or, the brokered clothing that comes into Kenya from overseas. But what they really need is an opportunity to get their foothold into some livelihood that could take them someplace and help them start being a model for the rest of Kenya of, yes, there's a way that the public-private partnerships can really make a difference where the governments can't do it at this point, because the governments absolutely have their hands tied. They don't have the funding. They don't have the vision that a private company has like mPharma. So we want to solve this issue, but we want to provide opportunity. And we think it could be a wonderful pilot model for mPharma, where whatever country you go into Africa. So I want to have Elliot just introduce himself, because Elliot is somebody also that has a lot of experience in the health industry. Elliot, you want to take a minute?
I'm ready. Hello. Henry, thank you very much for agreeing to meet with us. We're really looking forward to, as Nancy passionately explained, the kind of background and overview of what could come out of all of this. And I have one or two quick offbeat questions for you. I don't know how much time you've allocated for us, and we really want to get to hear some things from you. But number one, you clearly have been over in the UK and in dealing with the French company. What is your favorite Premier League team in England?
Basically, I would say it's Chelsea.
Which one?
Chelsea.
Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Roman Abramovich, huh?
Yeah, it's a good team, but
But
probably not even the owner.
yeah, he has one of our best players from the US there, Christian Pulisic, who's playing for them. But we have a lot of interest there. But the real question I have behind it all is, and we've talked about this in different ways with Abdul and all, down the road, there's a number of the people in Nairobi who have very strong interest in wanting to move ahead in the soccer world to potentially create an academy like a lot of the European youth ones have, and then getting a professional one, particularly with all the activity in the women's front. And one of the things I'd like you to potentially put in the back of your head, unless you've already thought about what a great idea it would be, is whether mPharma would be interested in becoming one of the sponsors of a team going forward. A number of us have in the back of our minds that the World Cup's coming to the US in 2026, and the Olympics are coming in 2028, where there'll be a women's team and a men's and my son works for the person, Wasserman, who is in charge of the program, both for the World Cup, but he's the head of the activities for the Olympics in 2028. And I'm sure you know how important, people live and die on the sports front, mostly throughout Europe and England and France. And it turns out all of these people, like when I talked to Abdul and Wycliffe, who played soccer himself, they're following all of these soccer teams. So don't want to take up any more of your time on that front, but if you would just keep in mind that part of what Abdul is going to pull off is totally expanding the whole soccer world. But as Nancy pointed out, at a certain age, they're no longer going to be soccer players, and we need to get them into the health world. And I'm not going to focus on too much of what I've done, but I was very active in the original setups of the program that's now the CBS Caremark. And from what I can tell, you all at mPharma have been using a lot of those aspects of it as a model for going forward. And we know a whole lot about it. and then Christian, who is involved with the medical number of hospitals in Maryland, 10 or 11, who are involved in providing all kinds of services, including, he's the expert for them on pharmaceuticals. So we're very interested in all of that, but what I'm hoping that we can at least learn from you as much as you'd be willing to tell us. Do you have 3 or 4 activities that you think these are the ones I want to pull off in 2022, 2023, and it could help us get rolling with you to figure out how we can create a support infrastructure of people that can help you make what you want to do much more successful, and simultaneously be able to provide a workforce for people in Kibera who don't, as Nancy said, have to be in Kibera, but can be throughout Nairobi. And I'll just add one more thing on that front, where there are 2 people who've gone through the Stanford Seed program that Nancy has helped. One of them is setting up a hospital almost ready out in the suburbs of Embu. And another one, Dr. Maxwell, who's now started in 2015 or 16 and now has 6 hospitals, private hospitals that he set up toward the other side of Nairobi. But at this point, I don't want to take any more time. We'd really like to hear from you on what you think you'd like to do that would potentially involve Wayo Wayo.
Thank you very much, Nancy, and thank you very much, Elliot. Let me call you like that. So yeah. So ideally, I think probably Nancy might be in the nose. Probably based on the work that also Liz is doing in Ghana. So ideally, mPharma is a social enterprise, more or less company. So headquartered in Ghana. So they set shop in Kenya slightly over 2 years back. So around end of just before COVID. So principally why they set shop here is they did an acquisition of a pharmaceutical chain company called Haltos. Yeah. Yes. So from a business aspect of it, we're in the retail pharmaceutical business. We've just recently developed the wholesale business in Kenya as well. And we've gone far notch as well as extending to diagnostics as well. As you know, mPharma also had that opportunity during COVID period, especially for diagnostic related equipments like PCR machines, so forth and so on. The reagents, just mentioned them, and the accessories. Now, I think in relation to more or less what I've heard, our target audience is more or less the low segment of society, the poor. And we do that primarily through various means. So it could be the commercial angle, whereby our market penetration has been to more or less look for these pharmacies which are struggling in terms of working capital. So we partner with them, and what we do is that we provide them with inventory. So we have a hybrid system whereby it's consignment stocking. So we provide them with inventory, then we give them expertise, just to improve the customer experience, as well as things like defining the formulary, as well as initial capital investment, which they pay just some sort of a startup to upgrade the standards of the facility. So it's called a QRX program. It's a quality RX program. So what happens is that profit sharing pool, whereby we take a third of the gross profit, they take 2/3 of the gross profit, and they only pay us the inventory based on dispensation. So that frees up their working capital. So that's one model whereby we're trying more or less to increase outreach and scale to ensure that there's quality drugs to the communities that we serve in the country. So in terms of scalability, we are looking to grow, to expand. We are in a very rapid expansion program this year. So we are looking for more facilities and in this model. Secondly, and I think probably what could be of interest to you, and that's probably what's been mentioned, what mPharma has done, is we've started some certain health service initiatives. Some of them are free, some of them are in partnership with some certain drug manufacturers. So we have patient support programs, just to mention. So we have a free diabetes test and treat program, whereby we provide glucometers plus free lancets and strips at a nominal price of 1,800. As you know, glucometers are quite expensive in Kenya. And then we have a post-treatment program where we have a nurse who was been employed by mPharma just do follow-ups on this patient. And you're entitled to one HbA1c test per quarter. So the other patient support program we will do that would also be of interest would be, we have a free malaria program for kids under 5. So this is just in honor of one of I'll principally say the person who brought Halton and mPharma together. So is a young guy called Nicholas Walker who passed away some years back. So we have a foundation called Nicholas Walker program. This is more or less a free malaria treatment to kids under 5. So I don't know whether Kibera is a highly prevalent malaria area, but it could be, but maybe probably. So that could be of interest to you. But the key one I would really say is a community health program. So the community health program, the way it works is that we are partnered with the manufacturer in I think Israel. So with a gadget called Title Care. So Title Care can be able to do certain diagnostics, So like ear, blood check, so forth and so on. Now with that Title Care, what we've done is that there are two elements to it, two phases to it. So we have community nurses who go out there to the community. So they offer free diagnostics. So once you're diagnosed, what will happen is that if you're interested, you get free virtual doctor consultation. Now for us, we have a brand called Muti. It's not a brand per se, but it's a banner called Muti. So Muti is more or less a product,
Yes.
which maybe you've heard about it here.
Yeah, we know it.
Yeah. So under Muti, we have what we call Muti Doctor. So the Muti Doctor is a virtual doctor paid fully by us as mPharma. So once you're diagnosed and you need some consultation, the doctor will more or less diagnose you and give you a prescription. And once you get that, you become a motivated member. So you get drugs at the discounted prices. So, and principally, this targets people who may not be able. As you know, research has shown in Kenya, 60% of people self-medicate. So they go to a pharmacist or a pharmtech, and they believe the pharmacist is a doctor. So most people don't go to, because of the cost of healthcare, as you rightly mentioned, is quite expensive.
Yes.
So, and you mentioned NHIF. So what we do, other than just to ensure that the whole process has quality, and it's always transparent. For us, we get a real doctor. So that doctor would also give you a prescription, and we recommend you go to some of our facilities. We've also branded them multi facilities. So for Halton alone, I think we are running about currently 30 pharmacies. But for these other ones, the one I call QRX, the franchise model, we are looking to scale up by 50 pharmacies this year. So we are talking about the region of 100 facilities, which have discounted multi prices. So if you have a multi member, you don't have to pay prices which you can pay from other pharmacies which are comparable. So for me, that would be of interest. And these nurses, and the interest to help the community, more or less to say is that if some of them have some healthcare background, like a clinical officers or nurses or volunteers, probably we can inject them in our program of more or less, especially Kibera would be very much interested because it's a densely populated area, and that's our target audience, so to say.
Yes.
So that we can be able to, so we can be able to give them this free health screening and free and discounted medicine, because our portfolio also includes generic medicines which are more or less produced here. So we have experts like you mentioned. I think the one on the call there's a pharmacist on the call, I think, Dr. Christian. So we have pharmaceutical experts also within our value chain. So they'll be able to offer molecules which more or less can be able to treat. Because you find that the only hiccup with the self-treatment, sometimes people don't get the right drugs, and then you have drugs which more or less don't meet the quality standards. So that's an area we are looking to improve. It's good you mentioned about Dr. Maxwell. So Dr. Maxwell, actually, I know him personally. So we are partnering with him as we're speaking. We're just about to partner with him, and one of the programs we are about to partner is the HPV. DNA molecular testing. So this targets women and girls. So we are doing a big campaign which we are launching in May, targeting 2,000 women. So it's called 2,000 Women HPV campaign. And we want to, and most people, and we will target people who can more or less, it could be targeting the community as well as corporate. People want to self-test themselves or self-treatment. So for us, we have various healthcare initiatives, and probably I can just do a write-up, a paper write-up to Nancy, and maybe we can advise when we can have a follow-up meeting as well, so that I can also incorporate my health services manager, she was called Dr. Harriet, and we can take it from there. So those are the opportunities currently I'd think of. In terms of sponsorship, that would have to go at a level higher than me, probably the CEO or founder, because the talk here is all about healthcare. So yeah. So what our committee is more or less the various healthcare opportunities that we have. So which can also help the youth, because I'm sure those youth have healthcare needs, which is probably they have to pay for it. So other than paying, these are free services, and we can look at special programs whereby for certain chronic diseases or certain diseases, we can give them very, very cheap subsidized drug prices, which more or less is also giving back to the community. So those are the things I'll think about at the moment.
Fabulous. Abdul, do you have any questions? Yeah, here.
Hello. Yeah, I don't have a question, but at least the narration, which at least I got it from like Dr. Henry, is really exciting, and also I would love at least to work with their company, because at least whatever they are trying to provide in the community, at least is something which is in need. Because like guys in the community, the issue of medication and the issue of health issues is a very big problem in the community, because so many people in the slum, at least it's hard for them at least to get like medication covers, and also to pay as cheap as the NHIF case. So many families also cannot even afford at least to buy some drugs for their medication. So if you partner with the mPharma, at least getting those kind of information and also treatment or the services they are providing the community, it will really, really create like a huge impact in the community. So, Mr. Henry, at least as from the YYO fraternity, I would love also just to work and to get more information from like what mPharma is doing, and we can see how we can customize or how we can work together in the benefit of the community.
Thank you.
That's a good one, Abdul, and I really look forward, because in terms of the value chain, I think we have the leverage of also influencing manufacturers. So sometimes some of these programs can also be sponsored by some of the leading drug manufacturers because of scale. So and we can always target even certain diseases which are more or less prevalent within such a communities. And or maybe a certain group, maybe be it women or young girls or old people. So for me, I'm very excited, and I think we can take it forward. Maybe Nancy, you can just more or less advise how we should take it forward.
Great. I'm so excited, Henry. This is so great. Because being in business with the social impact is where the world is going, and it needs to go. And we're all of us on this call are passionate about that. I came out of a business background, but it sort of converged into this international social impact, helping businesses be successful, but also provide jobs for people, not just to get rich, but to provide jobs in the region. And the two doctors that we mentioned I interviewed them for the program, the SEED program. They attended it. They're like a showcase right now. So did you say you met Dr. Maxwell? You're working with him?
I know him personally. He's a very good friend of mine, and we are working with him at the Pharma Kenya. So we're in partnership with the RFH. Is a group, is hospitals in Ruai, eastern part of Kenya.
Yes.
I mean, eastern part of Nairobi.
Yes.
So we are a very fairly ambitious young man, quite innovative. So we are working very closely with Dr. Maxwell. So he's also met the CEO and founder. I took him there just the other day. Yeah,
Abdul and I made a visit with him in September. We drove out there to see his hospitals. I mean, he's incredible. This man is like the best in the country. He really is unbelievable. in terms of his vision and what he has performed without any investment, really, except his own. I mean, he's done this himself. It was very hard for him to get investors. You know, a couple of years ago, when I was working in West Africa, there were no investors. There were no investors for anybody. And overnight, all of a sudden, there are investors in both West and East Africa and throughout Africa, but it's a huge transformation from just 5 years ago. And for that, we should be really thankful. And then my other doctor started with a clinic, and he single-handedly with his partners built a new hospital in Embu, totally private enterprise. So he would be interested in your product. He's on our advisory board, our group. We're not that formal. And he's been very helpful to us in terms of giving us the background, what's happening on the ground, because Abdul is not in that world and we're not there full time. But Elliot has the background, Christian has the background, and I have the business background with saying, how can we make this effective in Africa? How can we be a pilot project that could be taken everywhere? Because community health workers are not going to be paid anything much anytime soon. Unfortunately, we've learned that. And we can't be looking for grants. That's not sustainable. We need to be able to get them livelihoods. And it's better for people to have a livelihood than just get a grant, as we all know in business. You know, people want to feel like they have respect and they have a future for their families. And we see that tied in with this conversation and said, you know, we can make this happen. So step by step.
Can we take a minute and let Christian introduce himself?
Sure. Christian?
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
No, he's there, but he's at work. So he might have stepped back on the pharmacy floor.
And hi, everyone. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Christian.
I'm calling from work. So yes, as Nancy said early on in her introduction, I'm sorry, I have a doctorate in pharmacy from the University of Maryland and School of Pharmacy here in Baltimore and Maryland. And I'm also currently working toward my master in public health. And Professor Elliott is my
His connection's not good. Christian, we lost you. It's not a good connection. This happens.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I'm saying that I have the pharmacy for the University of Maryland Pharmacy here in Baltimore, and I've been working in the pharmacy profession for probably 20 years, starting from the lower level and until this point. And I've been working in outpatient setting in a hospital. I also work with companies such as CVS Pharmacy, Warren Pharmacy, also Mesta, which is a health facility in hospital. So, and I have a great interest in public health, especially coming from Africa. I'm originally from Cameroon in West Africa. So I've seen in action how it's important to be involved in our community to live a healthy and better life. So that's why now I had this opportunity.
Yeah.
I can hesitate. Yes, go ahead, Nancy.
Yeah. And so Christian and I are going to be making a trip to Kenya to start implementing some of the projects that we're working on with Abdul and his folks there. Hopefully, as soon as we get a date down, we'll let you know. So if you're so kind to let us come and meet you in person, it would be great. It'd be great so we can talk further. We'll bring, of course, Abdul, but we're hopeful that we can make inroads into what we hope to accomplish. in Kibera. We have the right people, we have the energy, we have the passion. Abdul is an incredible leader there. He's known throughout Kibera. We could have never done this without him. And so he's our vehicle to go into a place where other people try. There's a lot of nonprofits there, but we're taking a different tactic. We're, business, public, private enterprise. And we're not looking for donations. We're looking for solutions to make a difference.
Henry, can I ask you a specific question? We're looking, especially because I've got, a half dozen interns who are doing some things now, and want to move them into some things that will have utility. As Nancy mentioned, there's 2,000 current soccer players with their families. It gets to about 6,000 individuals. And then they have 130 teams with coaches and assistant coaches. Does it make any sense to try to reach out and get as many of them, even starting now, to join your MUTI, become whatever registered people to be able to get the drug discount and be able to potentially figure out information about them? Like 20% of them are probably hypertensives, 10% of them may be diabetics. A whole lot of them don't know, as you mentioned, they don't even know the difference between having a physician and having someone down the street there who has a white jacket and pretends to be either a physician or a pharmacist and is neither. And they're just giving out, little antibiotics that they got from China for 2 cents each or something. So would it be useful to try to set up something to get as many of the ones we have now to sort of get on a track and initially just learning more by joining MUTI?
This is a very good starting point, and yes, we are very much more than willing, more or less, to start that initiative. So, and that's what we are targeting ideally. So that's a very good starting point. And we could even organize them, because we normally do some free medical camps or health screenings. We could even organize them, free, because it's free, so it costs them nothing. They just come. That's within their proximity. So for me, I'm very much for it.
That would be great, because Elliot identified a Holton's close to Kibera. We could even, I know you give trainings and talks about the MUTI card there. I mean, we could even have him go to one of the Holtons, or if we have too many people, someplace else to get that training.
Of course, and of course, what will happen is not even the Haltons alone. Like I mentioned, we have the other community pharmacies. So they will not be known as Haltons. These are privately owned, whom we are partnering. So they are,
Yes.
So generally, we call all of them multi-pharmacists.
Yeah. Great. Well, did you say you're going to send us some ideas?
Yeah, I can send some ideas, or we can set up a meeting. I don't know how you want us to take it forward.
I think we should meet again. Send your ideas. We'll talk amongst ourselves, because we're going to plan a trip there. Abdul probably could go over and meet with you and have a discussion. That would be a great first step. Where are you located? Where's your office?
We're in Westlands, Mobili Road. So I think he's on email. Is Abdul on email?
Abdul, you're on.
Yes.
Yeah,
I can share my email.
Yes.
So that at least we can hook up.
So Nancy, sure. Nancy already has my email and my contact. So maybe you can share through her and me, and then we can take it from there.
Yes, and that would be great. And then we can meet right after that to discuss what you two discussed. That would be great. How's that?
Yeah.
So
that's okay. I mean, we all have the same mission of taking care of the community, and that's where we're heading. So for us, this can even build up to more things because, like I mentioned, we partner with some of the major drug manufacturers. So you never know which angle it takes. So it could extend to other things, as well, which are beneficial to the community from a healthcare
Yes.
perspective.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. I wish I were there. So-
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I will get there. But Abdul is a great spokesperson for us.
That's
So
right.
I think that'd be a first great step. And then if you
Okay.
could send us the list, we can
I'll do
also
that, yeah.
discuss that before he comes to meet with you. We can give
Okay, I'll
him
do that.
some support. That's great, Henry. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Steve Beck, thank you. And you have a
Thank you.
great investor. He is fabulous, that man, that
Yes,
Steve Beck.
yes.
I worked with him, helping our African companies learn how to get investors. He's just such a giver to the community. He's just I'm a big fan of his. So do you ever get to meet with him or does he come? Yeah. Well, tell
Yes.
him
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
has a fan club here with Nancy
I-
Kaiser.
I will.
Yeah, no, he's doing great work. He's doing
Yeah.
great. You have a great investor, so good luck. Okay, so you'll send us that list. Abdul
I'll
and
do.
you will meet, and then we'll follow up right after that with another Zoom call.
Okay then. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so
Great.
much,
Thank you very
Henry.
much.
Yeah, that was
Appreciate it.
great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Henry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr.
bye-bye.
Henry. Bye.
Okay, I think our team should stay on here. Okay, Elliot and Abdul, good.
I'm
Good,
still
good, good.
on, yeah.
Yeah, good. I was hoping. Abdul, get off mute. That was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only trouble is I had hard understanding him.
Oh, me too. Really
No,
bad.
I have to play back this. And Abdul, can you tell us some of the high points that he was talking about that we could do? Because it was so hard to understand him.
Yeah, because I understand that he's somebody who is like, how can we call it? Because he was stammering a lot on his conversation, but I think in summary note, at least he's somebody who is willing to work with us and also to work with the community, and also the services they are trying at least to start in the community. At least also they are looking for like an entry point on how also they can they can expand what they are doing. And also the other thing also I learned from him is that the mPharma is something which is not well known in the community, because when I try also to ask some of the shop guys and also before this meeting if they are familiar with such a thing. I think it's something new. I'm not that sure.
Oh, it is new.
It is new.
Absolutely new.
Yeah, it's something new, and also it will be an opportunity if we'll be the first guys at least to start initiating such initiative in the community. At least it will be like a plus for us as a YY organization. And also their target audience, according to him, is like they are targeting like the poor background of the community, and also we are the right track, because those are also some of our target groups we are working with. And the other thing also I learned from him also, they're offering also free malaria program, and he was asking if maybe in the community in Kibera is malaria a main concern. So at least those are some of the things also we'll take like an opportunity also to try to explain to him and see if it's a priority in our community. And also they have like the community health program, partners with manufacturers. So they have like different, I think they have like a list of manufacturing company, which at least they are working with closely with the community nurses, where the nurses can go in the community and diagnose individuals and also give back like the information to they have like selected doctors. They are working closely with them. So those selected doctors at least can take like the issue from their nurse recommendations. And also the other thing also I learned from him is whereby they have like they'll be working with different like doctors, specific doctors, because the way you guys have said, in Kibera community we have like those guys who have like a white dust coat, and mentality of some of the community members, they think those dust, if you put on a dust coat, a white dust coat, you're a doctor. And we have like this small chemistry in the community. Some people, they have that mentality, that's an hospital, whereby when they go to that pharmacy and they are recommended some medication, they think I've been given like a medication from a doctor, and that is not the case. So for them, having like community outreach in the community, so that they can teach, or they can highlight, or they can sensitize the community about the issue of medication. The way Professor Elliot have just said, we have like some of the medication from China, which are very cheap and they're not that effective. Those are some of the medication in the community whereby people are depending on. Like I can say like some 100% that they know that that's the medication they are recommended, so that it can cure whatever they are feeling, and that is not the case. Maybe those medications are like, they're not like the good quality which is supposed to be taken, or which is supposed to be taken with individuals. So having community outreach, or having a program whereby they can sensitize the community, is a very good thing, because we hardly have that a program in the community. If you can take that as an opportunity with the mPharma, also it will be like killing two birds with one stone, whereby we can be advertising the mPharma also on their services, and also at the same time, the community will benefit in more information about what the mPharma are doing in the community, and also highlighting what some of the good medication a community members are supposed to take, instead of just taking those painkillers in the chemist, thinking that it's a solution for their health.
Yeah,
And the other thing,
what I was going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you. What I was going to say is the thing that really struck me in it, and I didn't quite get it all, but you've explained it a little bit more. The community outreach is a huge possibility to develop into some other things. And that's why I asked him about whether he would be in favor of having, taking your 2,000 players right now, which we could create a database for as many as we can get, and get the whole family to get one of those Muti cards. But what I'm really thinking above and beyond that, in the database of the 2,000, is to find out if any of them, we're going to ask the question, if they have any insurance, NHIF, yes or no.
Yes.
And then, do they have a physician? Because what he really, I believe, was saying is he wants to find out the doctors and be able to get those physicians who will then write the prescriptions, and then they'll know that they're getting legitimate medication. And so what came out of this for me was, let's get those 2,000 with their families and all, which would give us like maybe as many as 6,000. It may take several months to do it, but then we can find out who their doctors are and if they have insurance. And then I would bet that he would give a contract to Wayo to go, once he trains some of you all, to go to these doctors and explain that, oh, we would like you to become part of the mPharma program, and we can use you to write out prescriptions, and more importantly, in the mPharma program, if these doctors' offices have a pharmacy already, he would sign them up and give them the inventory for what kind of drugs they need. And the doctor won't have to pay for it in advance to keep it in his office.
Yes.
That they would take the risk of doing it, which can become a huge business that would make, just think about, Dr. Thomas, he got excited when we said, oh, once you get organized, you can become part of mPharma. And what will happen is they have a computer system to tell you how to organize the inventory of all your medications.
So, yeah, I mean, there's so many opportunities. Oh, it's just sort of overwhelming right now. I'm going to listen to the recording, see what he sends us. And thank you, Abdul, for explaining. I think he was also saying that he would organize a training and a health checkup for people, Abdul, that you take with you to mPharma for the Moody card training. Is that what he was saying?
Yeah, he was. He touched something like that also about like the issue of training. For me, if I can just like summarize like what I've understood from him, is somebody who is willing also to learn from what is happening on the ground in the community, specific like in Kibera, and also he is also ready, if possible, to partner with us so that also the mPharma also can get a milestone in venturing in Kibera, because it's something which they haven't like got opportunity of getting in Kibera. And also when I will get an opportunity of meeting with him, I will try to convince him. I don't know if he has got opportunity of visiting Kibera.
Oh, he should
if he
go.
can get, yeah, if you can get like, if you can, I can convince him. If I can I will volunteer just to walk with him, for him to get like this picture of Kibera, because at times if you tell somebody about Kibera, some people are having like a very negative mind about like Kibera. Getting in Kibera is like walking in Kibera for them. At times they see like they are risking their life, but there is a lot of opportunity and a lot of solution in the Kibera if they try to venture in. So I will try to convince him if we can have like an hour or two for him just to tour around Kibera to see like how things are. And when he will be in Kibera, there is a lot of things will pop up on his mind, and also it can bring another opportunity which maybe is something hidden from him, or he haven't realized this can happen in Kibera, for either for the organization, for the mPharma organization, and also from him as individual. Maybe he will realize something very new.
Abdul,
so those are some of the things. Yeah,
that's fabulous.
Yeah.
And let me just add two things to do while he's there. Take him to some of the, real clinics, pharmacies, the pharmacy.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
The good ones.
Yeah.
And you'll know them ahead of time, and you'll say that you're bringing a visitor in, and or not, just show up. I think the most important is that he sees the real opportunity. The other thing is, make sure you bring some of the community health workers along with you, because they've been trained, and some of them are really impressive. Bring the ones who are, doing the businesses or went to college, like, Juma has a university degree. Some of the people that he can see, oh, wow, these people could be hired easily. So take the cream of the crop of the community, and we can go through that list before you go. And because I have some details of their backgrounds and my impression of them as good salespeople. Yes, they could be hired. because not all 15 will go, but let's pick 5, 4 to 5 who would make a great impression as future employees for mPharma.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did you, I keep wondering, did you lose your lease and need to get a new one by the end of March? How does that stand?
At the moment, yeah, I just have them on my list and also on my mind, but it's just a matter of just pulling the trigger if the right times come.
So, but you will have, because what I'm thinking is if, he comes to visit you, if you have a location where it could become like an office that they could send some of their people to train. What I'm really thinking is you can come up with a whole new category of people that will be like community outreach educationers who would learn enough to be able to explain to the community, the kinds of things going on. And I had something way in the back of my head. You may not have realized what I was saying when I said, would you maybe have mPharma become a sponsor?
Yes.
You may want to ask him,
yeah.
tell him that you're going to have like a fair where all of
Yes.
these teams come together, and you want to put up a big poster that says
Sure.
mPharma. So you will be advertising for them, and he'll be happy to have you do that.
I think it would be great to
Yeah,
do a health fair with mPharma that ties in with that,
Yeah. So what the idea which at least you share, Elliot, it was like a very good approach when it comes to like the soccer fraternity. So what I will do also, I will just pick like the vest, which we normally like do like the soccer league, which the community soccer players normally use at the soccer league. I will carry with me when I will be going for that meeting, and also show him like a sample. If maybe we work together, we can put like the logo of the mPharma in front of like the vest, so that the community, when the players are playing, the community can be
Oh,
knowing
Abdul,
now.
you're
At least we have like
priceless.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
these
That's
how
the
are,
we
way
can
some of
communicate.
these things got organized
Yeah.
in this country 30 years ago, and then they became big time soccer clubs.
yes. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
this is
something
our
like that.
opportunity, folks. This is great. This is
Yeah.
great.
And don't
Yeah.
forget, Wycliffe got very excited about the soccer stuff. So maybe you can get him to put together a poster or two and help with it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the goal is that you'll meet with him in his office. You'll then invite him to come to Kabira, and then we'll have a plan all decked out. I'll listen to the recording and write up the notes and send them out. I'm glad Christian could join us for a short bit, because I'm thinking he would be a great hire for mPharma.
Sure.
He would get a great job offer from mPharma, I'm thinking, don't you, Elliot?
I don't think he would take it. He'd be a great advisor, but he's got a top job now. He's probably earning over $100,000.
Well, he could be making that with mPharma.
Well, maybe not. I have no idea, but in any case,
maybe a
he
board
wants
member.
to help.
Yeah, or maybe a board member. I mean, he gets
Yeah.
stock options. It would be fabulous for him.
But
Some relationship.
I think the more important thing is keep in mind, Nancy, that you need to make Wayo into a company of its own too.
Yes, well, no, Abdul's going to be CEO.
Yeah.
So. No, I think this is the pathway. I think this is the pathway. I think it's great. And he was another good listener and very enthusiastic, because they need people like us. It's hard to find people like us.
It was clear to me. It was absolutely clear to me that he wants to play with you, Abdul, on a lot of fronts, and that's the most important thing.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
So
can you start getting together your the lists of all those all those teams, and we can start the database for the 2,000 families. Is that something you
That will
can
be
work
fine.
on now?
Yeah, we can work on it.
Yeah, because Wycliffe agreed, and we have the templates now. So Elliot,
Yep.
you give that template to what's her name? Amina?
I'm going to have, I'm not sure whether Tiffany is still with me or not. I'm either going to have her, I'll know that tomorrow. But I want to get Amina is terrific, and I'm going to get her involved in this for sure.
Because they send us a template and we can modify it. See if she can't take that template and work on it with what I had sent you guys that you had written, Elliot, and add anything else that you think that what's his name, Henry mentioned. If you can do that, and then let's look at it and get both, well, Abdul, of course, and Wycliffe to sign off on it. And then we can go ahead and we can start, and we have funds for this, Abdul. So think of the best people you have right now to go out and start collecting this data and see if they're available. And once we have the data template, we'll have to make copies. Oh no, we need, Abdul, we need the tool to be able to get it from Wycliffe on gathering this information electronically on the phone, if possible. Is that possible?
That will be possible as long as, like, individually, if they have like the smartphone and also the information which is needed, if they can catch it then easily, it can be very, very possible.
Okay, try to get him to share the whole app with us too, so I can look at it and see, is this going to be possible to do on an app, or do we have to do it by paper? Okay, so Elliot, we have a call on Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Oh God, that's tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to get our notes out now to both of, to Christian and Elliot and Abdul and myself, and then we can discuss where we are on this data collection and what we need to do to get it started. So when Abdul meets with Henry sooner than later, you can show him what we're collecting. You can take.
No, I think that's really important. And one little thing that it seems like a little thing, but it, in a lot of ways is a big thing, that on Wycliffe's form, they have something called age. And the most important thing than just get age is the date of birth of someone. Because anytime, you must know it, Nancy, anytime you go into a pharmacy, the first question they ask you is date of birth. And that's a much, much different one than just asking the age.
Yes.
And so we should put that into the form.
Yes. Yes.
And then, Abdul, once we start collecting all those heading toward the 2,000 families, we can then start a second database that gets them registered to get a MUDI card. And I felt like when I asked him the question, he got excited about enough to say, oh yeah, we can start today.
Yeah. Well, we can, we can get that ready by the time we start this, we'll have enough information, get the MUDI registration ready. So we'll just do it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'll send the notes, and then try to come up with a to-do list. And I might be off a bit, so just correct me. And we're ready to roll. This is great.
Yeah, a lot of progress.
What a progress.
I didn't quite get the understanding from him that he wasn't particularly anxious to tie it all into Haltons, that he was going to do a lot of these things on his own and not rely on them. Did you get that impression?
Yeah, because Halton's is just a vehicle for them.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is
They're-
good for us, because what that means is, and this could be important for you, Abdul, that if you've got a place, he would send out his people to start training all yours to become what we'll call community health outreach educators.
Yeah.
and yeah, they'll have to help us find a place because, I mean, that would be their role. If they're going to do all this training to sell their product, they can work with Abdul on locating a place and paying for it for training. It doesn't have to be a permanent place. It can be a place where they do trainings from time to time. It can be anywhere in Kibera. It's not something we have to come up with because they're a private company. They're not a, not a health department. They would have the funding to do that. So I'm sure they would undertake that. Abdul would have to identify a space, but there's spaces there that you could rent for a day or a week, as long as they're paying.
Maybe the DoubleTree Hotel, which just opened up on the edge there, would donate the space, because then they would start saying, oh, if we can have something to do with mPharma, they're going to be
Yeah.
big in Kenya.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be fine. That we'll find people to pay for that because we're a nobody. We
Yeah.
shouldn't have to pay for all our own training. We're a nobody with no budget. So mPharma has a lot to gain by training our people.
Yeah, and he sounds real anxious to do it.
Yeah,
So Nancy, one of the things when Christian goes with you to Kenya, I'm going to suggest that he stay at the DoubleTree.
oh,
I
I'm
will-
gonna stay there too. I think I've sent you an email.
No,
Your idea is
Oh.
great. We'll be right next door to Abdul.
yeah, well, it's close, but what I want to end up doing is getting Hilton, DoubleTree's a Hilton one, to get Hilton to become a sponsor for Whale Whale.
Well, that's great. That's great.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
so-
good idea.
So, well, I'll look besides the DoubleTree, I'll look if there's anything else along there that might, but it sounds like a good deal because it's an international chain that they have money and, they'll have a budget for this. So that's good.
And they sponsor lots of sports stuff.
Good. Okay, then we'll stay there. We're staying at
Sure.
DoubleTree. Okay,
Mhm.
and we'll be right in
Yeah.
your backyard, Abdul.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, now
Yeah.
LA's going to talk to Christian and see what his schedule is like when he could travel.
I'll ask him tomorrow because he'll be on that call.
Okay,
I got my intern's call tomorrow, and you got invited too.
yes. And should Abdul join or can,
This is mostly, well, I'm not sure. I'm trying to get that. I need to do certain kinds of things with all of these students have to give me information and the logistics with
Okay.
their advisors and all. That's what it's mostly supposed to be. But I
Okay.
turn them into something more than that. But I've got to know their hours. I've got to they got to file reports and stuff like that with me.
okay. Okay, so you could ask Christian now, just send him an email and think about, so by tomorrow, because I think it's going to be sooner than later.
Yeah, well, we'll find out one way or another by tomorrow.
Good, okay. And then I'll let Abdul know as soon as possible. And we'll make our plans. And we'll
Great.
stay at the DoubleTree. So good. Done. Great call,
Yeah.
guys.
I was supposed to have like a Zoom call tomorrow with Christian. I don't know if he changes the plan.
Oh,
So
what?
I'll just confirm from you. We were supposed to have like a one-on-one
Yes,
on how to approach the issue of mPharma and how to get about that. So I don't know, like if the plan is still there or maybe he postponed it. I'll just write him an email right now so that to confirm if the Zoom call is tomorrow or maybe he postponed it to Thursday.
okay.
But check with him because
Yeah.
it could very well be
Okay,
a
fine.
different time.
Good. Okay, so onward
Yeah.
and upward. I'm so pleased.
Yeah.
What a great team.
Yeah, we're getting off
Yes.
and running. We're getting,
Yeah. Slow by slow by slow by
Yeah.
slow by
Okay.
slow.
I'm gonna
At least
I'm gonna
we'll make it
repeat
there.
my African proverb. If you want to go
Yeah.
fast, go alone. If you want to go
Uh-huh.
far, go together.
We're together, sure.
okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you so
okay,
much.
thank you so much. That was just great.
Okay, okay, bye.
Bye.